gonna start recording. All right.
Hey.
Okay, so I'm Sophie,
I'm Cass.
and this is Podclass. Oh wait.
With Sophie. I'm Cass. Oh man. Well, welcome.
Welcome again, everybody that does keep up. Like my friend Andrea. I see you, boo.
Aww.
She watches every episode. And all right, so for today's topic, we chose a very casual topic because we don't have time to research right now. So
we in the thick of it, guys. Prepping, tests, all that shit.
Literally, so it is what it is. But
yeah.
We're gonna talk about I was thinking about what to name this episode, and I thought mastering solitude is a good one.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it is? I think when you say alone, loneliness, whatever, I feel like it has a really negative connotation.
Mm-hmm.
So solitude, I mean, it's the same thing. It's just, it has a different like ring to it.
Yes. So in terms of being alone, right? You know how people say like you can feel alone surrounded by the wrong people.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, I when I thought about this topic, I wanted to approach it more in a sense of not so much feeling alone, but dealing with actually being alone. Like learning how to enjoy your own company, how to kind of shift away from distractions sometimes, because I feel like some people, because they don't know how to enjoy their own company, they're always looking for like, I want to go here, I want to do this, and like, because I don't know how to be by myself in my room, because I don't know what to do with my time and with myself. So I want to ask you, Cass, in your journey of learning to be by yourself, how or when, at what point did you feel like, okay, I'm good, like I know I could be good on my own, and what brought you to that point?
I don't know if it's like it's like an obvious answer, but I think that like for me it was just being abroad. Like that was the first time where I was alone in the aspect of not having my family with me. That was a big thing. I've never been away from my mom or my brother ever in my entire life, or my grandmother or anybody like that. So I think that being out there, not when I first got there, of course, but I think after my first year in Spain, I was like, oh, I can do this no problem. And I think it started with like I had the opportunity to travel a lot, and a lot of those travels were on my own. And I truly by myself, like truly like just go to, I don't know, anywhere alone, and I felt so at peace when I was alone. Like it was so, oh my God, I smiled thinking about it, but it felt so good to have that peace with myself in my own company. And because I know the opposite, like I know what it was to not want to be alone, because and not even because I wasn't even conscious of that. I wasn't conscious that, oh, I don't want to be alone. I was just always doing something, always had something to do, somewhere to go, never stood at home. And then I'd get to points where I was just exhausted socially, right? Like, it's like, I don't even want to hang with people because I just wore myself out. And then I just like, it was like a cycle. So I think that was the first time I felt good. How about you?
First I want to say that I truly admire Cass for her solo trips, because I remember like you went to Granada by yourself once, and I was like, and you would like, I saw the pictures like that you went hiking and stuff, and I'm like, yo, this girl's so brave. Because even with me, like I would say I've mastered solitude, but I've never gotten to that point of comfort of like I guess, feeling safe within myself, like for me to do that. Or like even when we went to Amsterdam, I'm like, yo, like she went by herself. Like, like that's so crazy to me. Like I've traveled alone a lot, but I've always gone to
Yeah.
places where I was meeting someone. I've
Mm-hmm.
never like, so I really admire you for that, because that's like a different level of braveness for you to like
Thanks, boo.
encourage. Yes, bro. Props to you.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, man, I don't think I can think of like an exact point in time where I was like, I'm good. But I think for me, it was progressive, very progressive throughout several years of my life. And I think it started when I first moved to Spain.
Mm-hmm.
That was, so when I first moved here, I moved to a city where I didn't know anyone and I was living by myself. I had just moved here from Miami. I was working a lot. I was in school. So I think with all those distractions, I really didn't give myself the time to just enjoy like the peace of living on my own. It was like dreadful for me at the time, like coming
Mm-hmm.
home to silence. And then I feel like after I got out of the relationship that I started, because I didn't know how to be by myself, right? I got into a relationship. And when that ended, which was like right before we went to Malaga, I feel like Malaga for me was great for like personal growth, because, and I am so glad that we got to experience that before COVID, because I feel like if I wouldn't have gone through that transformation of just knowing how to be at peace with doing nothing, or like finding hobbies, like, because if you find things that you like to do, it does not matter where you are. Like you're gonna always stay busy. Like if you like to read a certain types of books, you could read. If you like to watch movies, or like I love to paint, stuff like that. So I remember when COVID happened that I was here by myself. Well, my brother was here, but we were both alone. I think that I would have gone crazy if I wouldn't have known how to manage being alone.
Yeah.
And after COVID, it's just been like situation after situation that I've found myself with all this free time. Well, not now because I have to study, but with a lot of time that if I wouldn't have known how to manage having it for myself, I think I would have gone into like a mental breakdown. Like I remember my friend Samantha, she told me once, she's like, bro, like, I don't understand. Like, how do you do it? Like, like, what do you do? Even when I was in Morocco, I don't have any friends there. And I was like, bro, you just find things that you enjoy doing for yourself, and you don't depend so much on if other people are calling you or texting you or meeting up with you. And I think the issue I'm finding myself now is because I'm so comfortable with my solitude. When some of my friends want to constantly be going out or constantly be doing something, it's like I can't.
Yeah.
Like I and sometimes I don't know how to say no, but it's like it's exhausting, like you said before. For me now, I get socially exhausted a lot faster, because sometimes I'm just like, I can't wait to go home and like be by myself and just like lay in bed and watch a
Yeah.
movie.
It's just like I just don't want to do anything with anyone. Yeah. I get you 100%. I was gonna say, outsider looking in, when we finally were under lockdown because of COVID, and I had to go to Miami to my uncle's, and you were back home in Spain. I like, I would think, I'm like, damn, Sophie's going through it, because she's just, I mean, I know Fran was there, but like, I know you're just by yourself.
My brother, so you guys know, like my brother, I love him, obviously he's my brother, but like in my house, he was downstairs and I was upstairs, and like I can literally go days on end without running into
Without
him
seeing
in his
him.
house. Like I'm not even kidding. It has happened.
So funny, yo.
Like I will not see him. So
Yeah. So I think that you had that experience, that like really having to be on your own. I'm sure it wasn't always easy, but who wouldn't, like who wouldn't go through something? It was such a crazy time in the world. But with you saying like sometimes knowing when like when you need your solitude, that goes back to setting boundaries. Check out our podcast on
our
boundaries.
episode.
But but yeah, like being able to be like, hey, you know, I'm sorry, girl, like today I'm just not feeling up for it. I wouldn't be a good time if I went. I'd rather just stay home. And then being okay with that. Like, it's nothing
Some
against someone.
people, but then that's the thing. I found that because some people don't know how to be alone and they don't know what to do with their time, they take offense to it because it's like, why would you rather stay home than like go to dinner? And it's like, no, like I'm dead ass, like I don't want to go. Like it has nothing to do with you. Like and that's another issue, you know. But it's also what you said about some days being hard because I feel like I've definitely gotten accustomed to being by myself because I'm by myself 80% of the time, even if I'm on FaceTime a lot with my friends or my mans. But I still find it funny saying that. Like it's been
You're
months
stupid.
already.
Oh,
even if I'm talking to him like all the time, it's not the same than to like have someone here with me. And a part of me kind of enjoys still being by myself, but some days I'm like, damn, it would be nice to just like have a hug from someone or like the other on Friday, right? I was having such a bad day, I was just like overwhelmed. The weather was really bad. And I was like, damn, like I told this guy, I was like, honestly, right now there's like I would only want to hang out with you, Samantha, or Cassandra. Like those are the three people that I would want to hang out with right now. And like the fact that I couldn't was so frustrating because it's like, it is what it is. And and he kept telling me, he's like, babe, like these things make you stronger. And it's true. It does make you stronger because you create a sense of independence of like, I got me. Like, even when I'm down, like I got me to pull myself out of it. And even like living by yourself, you're gonna encounter problems and situations that you have to get yourself out of at the end of the day, you know? It is what it is, which is why I always encourage everyone. I encourage everyone to, at some point in your life, even if it's only for a couple of months, try to get out of your comfort zone. Try to get out. And I know it's hard. And the older I get and the more that I talk to a lot of my friends and like people, and I'm sure this happens to you too, like when you're home, like like they're mind blown by the fact that you're like, oh, you're gonna move there by yourself, like you don't know anyone there, like what are you gonna do? And it's just like, you meet people.
I don't know.
I'll figure it out.
I'll do something. No, like I think that was a big thing. Don't get me wrong, going out there was super scary because that, like, I'm gonna be by myself. I did not know anyone. Like I was freaking the fuck out. Like I was on the plane, like, Cass, what did you do? Like, what the fuck did you do? But whatever, I got there, you know, I met some people and I started to kind of, you know, find my footing. And after that, like I had some months where honestly, like I went through really hard time. Like I think that's normal though. Like you said, when you first moved out on your own, it was really hard. It was overwhelming. It was depressing. You didn't want to go home to no one. And same thing, like I was really sad for some time. But those were like internal battles. Like I wouldn't really talk to anybody about it. But things started to surface. This was another thing I noticed. Things that happened to me years ago or decades ago, like what, like one, but
like bitch, you're like
old. 25.
Like, there's only 2 decades to be spoken about.
1, 2. Literally. Okay, but like, yeah, like a decade and a half, whatever. So I think that when you have a moment to, like I did by myself for the first time, a lot of things surfaced that I was too distracted to deal with because I was always accompanied or always doing something or always, I don't know, out, never at home. So it's hard. Like you said, it's going to be hard. And I think it's normal to get a little depressed at first. But then you start to work through that. And like you said, you become stronger and you have more like mental toughness when it comes to that. You don't truly, you know that you're actually never really alone.
Because it's a sense of like, in a way, like you have your back. Like I always feel like I got me. Like any situation that can happen, any whatever, I don't freak out as much because I'm like, I know that I can handle this because I've found myself alone before and I've been fine and I've been able to handle it. And I think also, like you said, not only do past situations resurface, but I feel like you appreciate or you start to appreciate more the real friendships in your life, the real people in your life, because when you step away from the going out, the social life, when you step away from the social life, right, that you're no longer there to go have drinks and you're no longer there. Like me, I've always been, I admit it, I've always been the party friend, you know. I'm no longer there to go party. Like I'm just it's like the truth.
A mí me gusta el can, you know.
A mí me gusta, like I'm not even gonna lie. I was always that friend that you could go out with. And that's the thing, I would never say no. And that's why I always say too, like, I'm so glad that I left Miami at the age that I did, because I feel like career wise, I would be very stuck right now because I was just not focused. But it tested a lot of my friendships. And I can say to this day that the friendships that have remained and the people that are still in my life, we have been through a lot, you know. We've overcome the distance, we've overcome the not seeing each other every day, the everything. And I feel like that is translated to any other relationship. Like now the relationship that I have, like I do feel a secure attachment to him, even if you know things are not ideal right now. But I think that it's because I've been in this situation through my friends before, that I know that it's
you know how to handle it.
Yeah, I know how to handle it. However, I do have to say there's a downside to also like being so comfortable being alone. And I would say that for me, it's been very clear what that downside is. And it's the fact that anytime that I feel like anything threatens the peace that I've built for myself, I'm very quick to be like, I'm fine without you.
Yeah.
Because I've been fine without you before.
Yeah.
So, and that's fucked up, because it's like, it's normal to argue sometimes, and it's normal for things to not always be ideal. And it's normal to sometimes, if you're like in relationships, you have to compromise. So sometimes you have to compromise a little bit of that peace that you've built for yourself. And that's the reality. And that is the reality, you know?
Yeah. You're bringing someone else into the mix. It's like bound to happen. Because you can't control another person's actions. You can only control how you react to them, of course. But what you're saying about like, very quick to just be like, I'm good without you, I've been good, whatever. It's true. It is true. And with anyone, you know, however, like, I think that it's how that's communicated. That's just like, I guess what's important, like being able to be like, listen, right now, like I don't feel at peace. This situation is really like taking me out of my comfort zone, and stepping away in a way that's like, listen, I need some hours, or I need a day, or I need a few days to myself, because I need to figure out what I want, or like what I want to do, because it's normal. That's so normal, and not everything's gonna be fucking peachy, but
exactly. And also, I mean, obviously the person that you're with should always make sure that the peace, even if you guys argue, but like always go back to that peace, you know, not maintain a situation of unstableness, but like
hold
I said,
on to that.
But then if you're not careful with that, if you're not careful with the being so quick to walk away, the people in your life, not only relationships, friendships, your family, they're going to feel like this girl doesn't give a fuck. Like she's so quick to just. And I admit that I've sometimes come off like that, because it's just like, I don't want to deal with you. Like, I'm good. I don't want to deal with you. And then you dismiss people because, again, I'm good, you know, and it's just like, no, you do have to take other people in your life into consideration. Because I think with being alone too, your attachment style really changes as well. I feel like before I used to have a very anxious attachment style. And that's translated into avoidance. And now I'm trying to translate it into secure, which is the ideal.
Yeah, girl, that's me, bro. Like, you know, when it's like you don't want to be left alone, and then you're just like como desesperada. You're like, no, please, like, don't, like we cannot leave this conversation without us being okay, because I won't be
Because
okay.
I will literally have a panic attack.
Literally.
Like,
oh my God, yes. But then
that's
like
the anxious, but that comes from, that's rooted, I as a fact, because I know what you've been through and you know what I've been through. That's rooted in past situations where we were tortured, in the sense of like, you have an argument with someone, they know you're not okay, and they take advantage of the control they have over you because they know that you're not okay. So you're like,
and then in your head, you're just kind of like, yo, as my partner who loves and cares about me, if you know I'm not okay, then why are you gonna leave me not okay?
not okay.
And again, like that, and a lot of times arguments were so stupid. So it's not even like I fucking went and like disrespected you for you to feel like, you know what, I don't want to talk. Like it's just stuff like that. But then I feel like taking time away for myself, by myself, gave me that opportunity to then not have that anxious attachment. But like you said, then I started to become avoidant, where it's like, you know me, Sophie, when I'm mad.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you guys a little story time. One time, Cassandra and I, we were in Malaga, right? And we went to the city center.
I already fucking know. We
went to the city center. And then I don't even know what the fuck happened. It was a whack night.
I don't remember.
It was a whack night. I don't remember what happened. And me and her, we lived in Casa Pinga. Like, that shit was far as fuck. Like, the city center was far from our house. And she wanted to take the bus, but I think we had stayed there longer because I told you to stay there longer. And then by the time that we were going to take the bus, there were no buses. And then we didn't have money for an Uber because we were broke as fuck all the time. And I was like, Cass, let's just walk there. And she was so tired and so mad. And I could tell that she was so mad. Like, she was speed walking in front of me. And I'm just there like, what the fuck is going on? So me, instead of like trying, because I know her, instead of me being like, Cass, like, oh my God, whatever, I just let her be. I was like, listen, she'll get over it. Like, let her be mad.
Yeah. And that's fine, because the walk was like 45 minutes. So by the time we got home, I was fine.
We got over it. Like, she had time.
I remember by the time we were getting close to the house, there was this dude that started